just watch. Come on.
And you had an incident yourself last year. I know you don't want to talk about it at length, but I want to ask you just really what you learned from that. You were found with cocaine in Las Vegas and so on. And for you at the time, I mean, potentially a big problem for you. But I think you dealt with it in a very mature way. What's your feeling about it looking back on it now?
I don't live my life with regrets, and I don't dwell on anything. I feel like it happened. It must have happened for a reason. I hope that I'm not here today because of what happened then. I hope I'm here today because of my achievement and because of my music. My whole life, I feel like I've been struggling to do what I want to do, and that was music. It just wasn't easy. I had to go through some things, but you can't regret it because I might not be here if it wasn't for that journey that I had to take.
It's your hallelujah, 'cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Magic in the air.
Bruno Mars almost lost everything before he even made it. One night, one mistake, a single moment in a Las Vegas hotel bathroom nearly destroyed one of the most gifted artists of his generation.
24 karat magic in the air. Just the way you are.
In September 2010, a 24-year-old Bruno Mars was sitting on top of the world, or at least about to be. His first solo album was ready. His songs were climbing the charts. And then, just like that, police kicked open a bathroom stall at the Hard Rock Hotel and found him with cocaine. In that moment, the superstar everyone now knows, the performer who lights up Super Bowls and wins Grammys, almost never happened.
An incident yourself last year. I know you don't want to talk about it at length, but I want to ask you just really what you learned from that. You were found with cocaine in Las Vegas and so on. And for you at the time, I mean, potentially a big problem for you. But I think you dealt with it in a very mature way. What's your feeling about it looking back on it now?
I don't live my life with regrets, and I don't dwell on anything. I feel like it happened. It must have happened for a reason. I hope that I'm not here today because of what happened then. I hope I'm here today because of my achievement and because of my music.
Because one bad decision almost became his entire story. But what Bruno said later about that night is what makes this story unforgettable. I don't live my life with regrets. I feel like it must have happened for a reason. And that reason, that lesson, would change everything. Before he was Bruno Mars, he was Peter Gene Hernandez, a kid from Honolulu, Hawaii, born on October 8th, 1985.
Elvis.
You Say Shoes is my favorite song because it's like a lot of rock and roll in it.
Music wasn't just around him, it was him. His father, Peter Hernandez, was half Puerto Rican, half Ashkenazi Jewish, a percussionist who loved doo-wop, rock, and Latin rhythm. His mother, Bernadette Bayo, was a Filipina Spanish singer and hula dancer. Together, they built a household where performance wasn't optional. It was survival. When Peter was just 2 years old, he was already doing Elvis impressions.
Singing, he's dancing, and his lip.
His what?
His lip.
His lip?
Yeah.
What is it about his lip that you like? What is it?
This.
He'd grab a tiny microphone, shake his hips, and light up the crowd. By 4, he was performing in his father's band, the Love Notes, wearing a miniature Elvis suit complete with sunglasses and a cape. The kid could move crowds before he could even read, and that's where his dad gave him his new name, Bruno. It came from Bruno Sammartino, the wrestler, because little Peter had that same bold energy, that unshakable confidence. The name stuck, and so did the dream. Growing up in Hawaii had its beauty, the beaches, the music, the aloha spirit, but it also had limits. For a kid dreaming of making it big, the islands could start to feel small. By the time he was 17, Bruno had outgrown his hometown stages. With just $100 in his pocket and a guitar on his back, he packed up and moved to Los Angeles. No connections, no safety net, just drive. But LA doesn't care about dreams, it eats them. He got dropped from his first record deal with Motown Records. He was broke, sleeping on floors, gambling at poker tables just to cover rent.
Different music, so it's my job to study all kinds of music.
Gave you all I had and you tossed it in the trash.
But through all that, he kept writing, he kept producing, he kept hustling. He formed a production team called the Smeezingtons with Philip Lawrence and Ari Levine. Together, they started producing hits for other artists. Flo Rida's Right Round, Kanan's Waving Flag. They were behind the scenes, but Bruno's pen was everywhere. Then came Nothing on You by B.O.B. Bruno sang the hook. that smooth golden tone that made everyone stop and ask, "Who's that voice?" The song blew up. #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Suddenly, the industry couldn't ignore him anymore. He followed it up with Billionaire with Travie McCoy. Another hit, another Bruno hook. 2 back-to-back smashes and still no solo album.
Wanna be a billionaire so fucking bad.
But that was about to change. Atlantic Records executive Aaron Bay Shuck, who just happened to be Leonard Nimoy's stepson, saw something in Bruno. He signed him and gave him the green light for his debut album, Doo-Wops and Hooligans. Everything was set for October 2010. The dream was finally real.
I don't feel like doing anything. I'd catch a grenade for ya.
But then came that night, September 19th, 2010. Bruno Mars was at the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas. A night out, some drinks, some music, nothing new until police got a call. They found Bruno in the bathroom with 2.6 grams of cocaine. He was arrested for felony possession. The headlines were everywhere. The mugshot, viral. Pop's new star and cocaine scandal. Bruno Mars busted in Vegas.
Sit your hallelujah, cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Go with it, and I will go with it.
The same week his career was supposed to take off, it nearly crashed before leaving the runway. The world saw a scandal. But behind the scenes, Bruno saw something else. A warning. He admitted later to lying to police, saying it was his first time using drugs. In a GQ interview, he said, "I was drunk. I was scared. I just wanted to get out of there." He took the plea deal, $2,000 fine, 200 hours of community service, and drug counseling. If he stayed out of trouble for a year, his record would be wiped clean. And he did. He finished every hour, paid every fine, kept his head down, and when the smoke cleared, he came back stronger. Because while he was fighting legal charges, Doo-Wops and Hooligans dropped, and it exploded, just the way you are. Grenade, the Lazy song. Each one became a global anthem.
And held your hand. Yeah, that is what you are.
Talked about, all right, you know, we're listening to the same stuff, and he comes from the same background of performing live and gigging. And probably doing the bar circuit and birthday parties and whatever you got to do to make it out. And when we got in the studio, that's what it was. It was just like you're like your friend. So it brings you back to this time of why you fell in love with music in the first place, like being in the garage with your buddy and playing the guitar and him on drums and just getting excited over the music.
Bruno's voice, his writing, his charisma, everything about him screamed star power. That album went triple platinum. He was Grammy nominated. He was performing on every major stage. The world forgot about the mugshot, but Bruno didn't. He said it was a lesson, a wake-up call, that without it, he might not have focused enough to survive what was coming next.
Song that I ever released. And Ellen was the first person that allowed us to sing that song on her platform, and that song became #1 very shortly after that performance.
I can spot talent. And I mean, really, seriously, though, you were such an amazing performer. And now what you're doing with Silk Sonic with Anderson .Paak is brilliant.
Come on.
Congratulations on the 4 Grammys.
Oh, thanks.
That was...
Look how happy we are.
As he said, in the business is known as a clean sweep.
Clean sweep.
And we went to go see you. Twitch and I saw you in Vegas, and y'all are unbelievable. And now you've added dates to it?
Yeah, look at an interview. You can't find an interview where I am not talking about the entertainers that have come before me. And the only reason why I'm here is because of James Brown, is because of Prince, Michael. That's the only reason why I'm here. I'm growing up as a kid watching Bobby Brown saying, okay, if that's what it takes to make it, then I gotta learn how to do the Running Man. I gotta learn how to do the moonwalk. That's it. And this music comes from love. If you can't hear that, then I don't know what to tell you.
The fame, the pressure, the expectations. He learned early, success can disappear as fast as it comes, but life wasn't done testing him. Behind the spotlight, Bruno was quietly dealing with something far worse than fame or rumors, the failing health of his mother, Bernadette Bayot.
Listen to this.
She was the reason he sang, the reason he kept pushing. In June 2013, Bernadette died suddenly from a brain aneurysm. She was only 55. Bruno was shattered. He canceled shows. He disappeared from the public eye. Friends said it was the lowest point of his life. When he finally came back to the stage, every lyric sounded different. Every performance carried her memory. Then came Unorthodox Jukebox.
Andy met on tour in 2017, right? Yeah, we was on tour together, and then from there we started hanging out and listening to music. He put me on some music, I put him on some music, and then we went to the studio a couple times, wrote some songs that ended up on Ventura, right? Right. And this quarantine, I called Andy up, said come to the studio, and kind of snowballed into something.
Songs like Locked Out of Heaven, Treasure, and When I Was Your Man turned his grief into power. That last one, When I Was Your Man, felt like a confession. Simple piano, raw vocals, no gimmicks, just Bruno's voice and his pain. The album was a smash. It hit #1, it won Grammys, and it made him untouchable until he walked onto the Super Bowl stage. January 2014, Super Bowl 48, 115 million people watching live. And Bruno Mars, no guest stars, no controversy, just him, a drum kit, and pure talent. He tore that stage apart. No lip sync, no auto-tune, just fire. It was the performance that made the world say, he's not the next Michael Jackson, he's Bruno Mars. That night cemented his legend, but he wasn't done yet. Later that year, he met producer Mark Ronson. The two started jamming in the studio.
Add 9 more shows in August, so get your tickets because this show is so much fun. We're dancing and singing our heart.
Just messing around with funk grooves, old school sounds, horns, bass lines. Within hours, they had it. Uptown Funk. When that track dropped in November 2014, it didn't just top charts, it took over culture. 14 weeks at #1. Grammy wins, dance challenges, memes. Bruno Mars went from star to phenomenon. Then came 24K Magic in 2016. He leaned fully into 90s R&B and new jack swing. Music that made you move. That's what I like. Finesse with Cardi B. The whole album was dripping in swagger and nostalgia. At the 2018 Grammys, he swept every category he was nominated for, including Album of the Year. 6 wins in one night, a clean sweep. History. But even at the top, Bruno couldn't escape controversy. In 2018, writer Seren Sensei accused him of cultural appropriation, claiming his racial ambiguity allowed him to profit from black culture while avoiding its struggles. Bruno fired back respectfully, saying his music is a tribute, not theft. That he's always credited his inspirations, James Brown, Prince, Michael Jackson, and that his goal is to keep that legacy alive. The debate went viral. Half the internet defended him, the other half questioned him. But Bruno kept quiet after that. He let his music do the talking. Then, during the pandemic, the world went silent. No concerts, no tours, just time. That's when Bruno picked up the phone and called Anderson .Paak. They toured together and shared the same love for vintage soul and funk. Locked in the studio, they made something special. Silk Sonic, Leave the Door Open, smooth, romantic, timeless. It hit #1, won 4 Grammys, and reminded the world that real musicianship still mattered. Their album, An Evening with Silk Sonic, became an instant classic. Every song felt like stepping back into 1975. Bootsy Collins even gave them the name Silk Sonic. Vegas shows sold out instantly. Bruno and Anderson became the new kings of soul revival. But fame always circles back with noise. In 2024, tabloids spread a rumor that Bruno owed MGM Resorts $50 million in gambling debts. MGM shut it down immediately, near calling it completely false, but not before the rumor went viral. Then came heartbreak. In early 2025, after nearly 14 years together, Bruno and model Jessica Caban quietly ended their relationship. No drama, no public statements, just two people moving in different directions. Bruno stayed private, focusing on new music. These days, Bruno's empire keeps growing. He co-owns Selvaray Rum, one of the fastest growing premium rum brands in the world. His Vegas residency continues to sell out every night. Fans say it's not a concert, it's an experience. And while the world waits for his next album, insiders say it's going to sound different. More electronic, more experimental, but still with that vintage heart. A reinvention. something only Bruno Mars could pull off. So what's the real bombshell revelation? It's not the drugs, not the scandals, and not the rumors. It's that Bruno Mars, one of the biggest stars on the planet, almost didn't make it. That the same man who sings about love and joy came dangerously close to losing it all because of one stupid mistake. And instead of running from it, he faced it. He learned, he grew, he turned shame into success, pain into performance, loss into legacy. When people see Bruno now, smiling, dancing, dripping in gold, they don't see the scared 24-year-old in that Vegas bathroom. But that man is still there. He's the reason Bruno stays humble, the reason he stays hungry, the reason he's one of the last true showmen left. He said it best himself. If you want to be great, you've got to care. You've got to obsess. You've got to live it. And that's what he's done. Lived it. From Elvis impersonator to pop icon, from mugshot to masterpiece, from the edge of disaster to the peak of perfection. That's the real Bruno Mars story. This is buzz and drama, where we don't chase rumors. We chase the truth behind the spotlight. If this story moved you, hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. What do you think Bruno's biggest lesson was? Was it redemption, forgiveness, or the reminder that even legends can make mistakes? Because at the end of the day, the music fades, but the message stays. See you on the next one.